It's a level of immortality, a chance to etch your name alongside legends, Richard, Dale, Jimmy. A championship changes how history records you, how future generations will talk about you. But to earn this honor, you must overcome the most difficult test in all of sports.
It's a whole season of moments that's led up to this one race.
Denny is going to Phoenix.
Winning the championship to me means everything.
A championship separates greats from legends. A culmination of a season that guarantees nothing and demands excellence. Grueling, mentally taxing. It's the reward for those who are toughest when the lights are brightest.
Getting to the Cup Series Championship race and then winning it is something you work for all year.
Very few people that can even say they're a NASCAR champion, so it just tells you how hard it actually is to do.
Today is for those who keep believing. Today is for the brave. Those resilient enough to overcome adversity.
We just need a little bit more.
Strong enough to lift an entire team to the top. One race, one opportunity. For team, for family, for all. Forever a place in NASCAR story.
Well, fans have come from far and wide to the Jewel of the Desert here in Avondale, Arizona, to watch four drivers go head-to-head for a chance at the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship. I am Alex Weaver, joined by Carla Metts here at Phoenix Raceway, and we're excited because we get to crown a champion today. It all comes down to this afternoon.
Yeah, the stage is set for the championship for drivers. We've got two from Hendrick Motorsports and Byron and Carla Larson, and then two from Gibbs Racing and Denny Hamlin and Briscoe. They're going head-to-head today for a championship. Three of the four starting on the first two rows.
Yeah, it will be the battle of the heavyweights, the clash of the titans between these two organizations. And we have two of our Hendrick Motorsports Championship hopefuls here joining us on the show, Byron and Carla Larson. Welcome to Championship 4 Sunday, fellas.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
William, I want to start with you because this is your third straight Championship 4 appearance. You know what today feels like and the pressure that mounts as the day builds, but now you're a pro at this. You're a veteran at going after a championship, so how does this Sunday feel?
Yeah, it feels good. I think we've had a good week so far. We've done the work and had some good practice sessions, good qualifying, so just now trying to get out there and race. It feels good waking up today.
And Kyle, you're the only former champ in the field. What kind of experience does that lend itself to today to try and get a second one?
Yeah, I honestly don't think it matters. I think just getting to the Final Four and that experience of knowing what the week looks like, I think that matters a little bit more than having won a championship. We're all really good. We've all won races. We've all beat each other throughout the year. So I don't think being able to lean on the past championship experience can do much for me.
Well, we have seen you two hop inside the race car already this weekend. We had practice session, and then you guys showed some speed in qualifying. What did you both feel inside your race car? Kyle, I want to start with you rolling off second today.
Yeah, qualifying, I felt pretty okay. I tried to commit on entry speed and did that. But yeah, my exit was a little bit, kind of hard to lean on, as I feel like this tire kind of naturally feels that way some. So, yeah, felt worse than third, but obviously, wouldn't have been surprised either if it went faster. That's just kind of how stock cars are sometimes in qualifying. But yeah, happy to be in the front couple rows, and hopefully can put together a good race.
William, third is not bad to start here today.
I think qualifying was a little bit different for us. Like I just was kind of committed to having a clean lap, and I felt like I did that. It was kind of slick out there as we got through the session. I think track temp went up, so yeah, I feel like it was everything we expected it to be, kind of a little bit more comfortable balance than we've had in the past.
William, we know that we got to let you go because you've got some other obligations, but we appreciate the pit stop real quick, and good luck today.
Yeah, thank you all. Appreciate it.
All right, Kyle, you have to stay with us. We want to break this down a little bit more.
You didn't get off easy.
When you come to a place like Phoenix and what you've seen already racing in the Cup Series here, but then watching the trucks and the Xfinities go to battle, what do you expect from today's race and these crazy restarts?
Yeah, restarts are always crazy here. So that's kind of where most of the nerves would come from. It's really hard to pass once you get kind of singled out. So you got to be aggressive on restarts to not, lose any track position. Ultimately, always want to gain track position or maintain it if you're leading. So we'll see. I thought my car had good long run pace in practice. So I don't know. It's going to be a challenge, I think, on the short runs to how hard you push and abuse your tires to maintain that track position or move forward. So we'll see. It's going to be an interesting race. We haven't ran here with this tire yet, so I think there's going to be a lot of learning that has to transpire in the first stage especially, but probably even through the second stage.
We know how dedicated your crew chief, Cliff Daniels, is. What's his focus level like this weekend and really just your whole team to prepare for this moment?
Yeah, no, Cliff is always really focused, and I feel like he brings a lot of intensity to any week throughout the year. We could be at a racetrack that you might not even think would matter for the playoffs, but he's bringing that same intensity throughout the week, throughout the race weekend, and I think that really helps prepare the team for when you do get to the weekends that really matter, like this one. Nothing feels different. So that's kind of how it's felt like for me, this week, and I'm sure for our whole team. It just felt like business as usual, and we feel prepared, and now we're going to get done here, go have our team meeting and gather and get ready and focus for the race.
How do you push aggression levels here at this racetrack, but make sure that you're managing tires, you're not beating and banging? We saw a little wall scrape with you in practice. Where's that balance, and how do you find that throughout today?
Yeah, I think that's what you kind of have to find and develop throughout that first half of the race. Like I said, it's a different tire than we've ran here in the past. The other one, I feel like you run pretty hard the whole time. This tire, I think there's a window of where it likes to be, and you can easily step over that window and start overheating and wearing out your right rear tire, and things become very difficult. So you don't want to be too easy either, because then you're giving up time on the short end of it, and it's hard to make that up throughout a run. So like I said, just kind of trying to learn and see what other drivers are doing, how hard they're pushing, all of that in the first stage. Get information from my crew chief and spotter, what other guys might be doing, what other lines are developing. So all normal stuff, all normal things that we go through every race, but it does mean more, I think, in this one.
We know you are going to be focused on the 5 team today, but it is Hendrick Motorsports going up against Joe Gibbs Racing. How do you size up the competition, especially with the way playoffs have gone up until this point?
Yeah, it's really hard to size everybody up and really pick out a favorite. I don't know if you guys are able to, like a true honest favorite, but to me, this is like the most equal kind of Final Four we've maybe had in quite a while. So it's going to come down to the best team, I think, who can execute the best today. And that comes from everybody on the car. So I feel like that's something our team does well, as does the other 3. So it's so hard to say. But I like our shots, or our shot at it. I just have a lot of trust in Cliff and how he leads, and I think that's what is hopefully going to push us over the edge and get our second championship.
You can make this short and sweet because we're letting you go right now, but how bad do you want that 2 in front of that championship on your fire suit?
Yeah, obviously I want it really bad. I think what makes me want it even more is just the hard work that everybody puts into it, and I feel like a championship would really reward them for that. And we have more than half of our team is different than what it was in 2021.
Yeah.
So would just like to see everybody, celebrate and have a good time and see Cliff get on the gas again. He's so serious all the time that, I told him earlier this week, I'm like, he is the reason why I'm more motivated to win this championship than any, I just want to see him getting after it in Scottsdale again.
Yeah. Oh, we love the Cliff Daniels getting after it. Wouldn't it be a sight to see again? Well, Kyle, good luck today. We wish you the best.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Thank you. Oh my
Business
goodness.
as usual, Carla. I mean,
Both
Hendrick
Hendrick
Motorsports,
drivers.
they expect to come here and win a championship.
Yeah, nothing unusual. Like you said, business as usual. They come in and their focus level, I don't even feel nerves from either one of them.
No.
And what's so interesting, too, to Kyle's point there, is that they want this championship for their whole team. It's not about the 5 or the 24. They want to get it done for everybody else. But hopefully, you've already been in on the championship weekend action, and you've hopefully caught the Xfinity race last night.
Yes,
it was a
good
fun one, and we brought in Adam Alexander to not only talk about the Cup Series today and the field set for today, But last night, Adam, we saw a show put on by Jesse Love. I mean, I think we all kind of thought Connor Zilisch, right, the favorite, 10 wins. But it was his best friend that got it done in Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, you come into that race last night, and how can you not think Connor Zilisch because of the year he's had, the 10 wins? And I think what put me over the top and maybe swaying the favorite vote to Connor was his performance at St. Louis, because he was so good there, and everybody compares St. Louis to what we have here in Phoenix. And then you had to look at Justin Allgaier, too, not only because he's the reigning champ, but he's the veteran, and he's so good at this racetrack.
King of Phoenix, yeah.
And so from that perspective, I'm like, it's kind of 1A, 1B. And then after that, I'm like, man, the two team is so confident after getting here, but it's just hard to put anything up against what we've seen from Junior Motorsports in 2025. And for him to not only win it, but win it the way he did. I mean, that late pass and holding off Connor and driving away. Obviously, Almirola gets through to second and wins that Owners' Championship. But it was a huge moment for Jesse and his family, and the emotion and celebration was really fun to watch.
Well, we're going to be used to seeing these Clash of the Titans here, because we get it again today for Sunday in the Cup Series finale of this weekend. Let's talk Hendrick Motorsports with you first, though. We heard from Kyle Larson, from William Byron. Carla mentioned no nerves. They wake up, they eat their normal breakfast, they come and talk to us like it's just another race day. What do you expect from those two drivers?
I've got to believe they're going to perform at a high level, and they know the big moment. They've each done it. I mean, whether you think about William Byron as a regular season champion and winning the biggest race a couple of times at the Daytona 500, or what Larson has done at every level of his career, and in particular what he did here 4 years ago, winning that Cup Series championship. Those two are ready, and I think they sent a message yesterday in qualifying that they've got fast race cars, and qualifying means so much here. When you think about pit stall selection, and then you just exaggerate that you start this race ahead of the game. I just think it is so hard to come from behind, because your margin for error is so slim at a place like this. And sometimes then you get caught in this, we have to play a game to bridge the gap, and then you get farther out of the picture instead of where you are in it. And so I feel like their start to the weekend is in a really good place. And, you know, I heard Kyle say this, and I don't know how you pick a favorite. I've looked at the data, and to me, all year long, I've been curious, who leads the pack? And I've had a hard time solving that riddle, and I would say today is the same. You can make a case for anybody, but there's no doubt the two guys from Hendrick Motorsports, William Byron, Kyle Larson, have a real shot to go do it.
And they both have 3 wins. They both have 3 Championship 4 appearances. But kind of hearing everybody talk this week, it kind of feels like there's not enough people talking about Kyle Larson, even though he is the only champion in the field.
Well, it's really funny, because he hasn't won, obviously, in more than 20 races.
Yeah.
And he started the year so great, and everybody's like, here we go again. And I feel like we are just cultured in NASCAR now. When you go to any track, and it doesn't matter where you are, maybe it's Miami, maybe it's Bristol, but maybe it's Martinsville, maybe it's Phoenix. It just doesn't matter. Las Vegas, Kansas, the list goes on and on. When you show up, you say, who are some drivers to beat this weekend before a lap is ever turned? And Kyle Larson is always on that list. And so I feel like maybe, you know, the favoritism that we've shown Kyle has slipped a little bit, because he hasn't been as much a part of that equation here. But then you look at what they've done recently in the playoffs. No, he hasn't won, but they're leading laps. They're getting those top 5 finishes, the qualifying effort here yesterday. And so there is just no doubt in my mind, when you combine the championship experience with his overall fortitude for success and that laid-back attitude, and I agree with you. I don't feel stress or anxiety from any of these drivers, no nerves, no pressure, it doesn't seem like to me. But I look at him, and he's like, I'm just going to go hang it out and see what happens, and that's a great place to live, and I think that's why he's been so successful.
His teammate on the other end, William Byron, who is such a student of this sport. We watched him grow up, and his talent level, but also his maturity, has just progressed throughout his career. And I still look at William sometimes, and I'm like, oh, you're just a baby. Like, we're young guns.
Right.
But he's not anymore. What have you seen as Williams' Championship 4 appearances have progressed in his talent level?
Well, you just look at his racing style, and I mentioned the fact that he's won, you know, a couple of Daytona 500s, and you know, when you win a Daytona 500, that's how you're introduced forever as a Daytona 500 champion, so that never goes away. But I really circle last week, and I think about the magnitude of a walk-off win at a place like Martinsville that has meant so much to Hendrick Motorsports. The only problem with doing it that way
is you lose the head start by winning early in the round and knowing you're locked in so you can begin the preparation process, right? That's the only negative to winning in walk-off fashion. But if you talk to anybody in sports, and I'm talking football, baseball, basketball, soccer, or NASCAR, they will tell you momentum means everything. And the 24 has got a bunch of that. And the way he won, he had to get aggressive with Ryan Blaney. That's a little glimpse of something we haven't always seen from William Byron. I was doing something with Jeff Gordon earlier today. He referenced that. You know, who knows what's going to happen today, right? But William, in my mind, is definitely ready for that first Cup championship.
And he's had a lot of momentum, too, when you think about how many he left out there this season,
right?
Right? They were in so many races and didn't quite close in, but he got the win at Daytona, like you mentioned, Iowa, and then, of course, in Martinsville. Let's talk strategy really quickly, because over the weekend, we did see tires really come into play. They talked about that new tire. How do you feel like that is going to come into play today? And, I mean, honestly, even Chase Briscoe had some issues.
Yeah, I really feel like that the strategy for the championship four, unless someone gets really way out of the box, will be even across the board. I feel like they will just follow one another and stay on a similar strategy as long as they're all in the game and no one loses a bunch of track position and is forced to do something out of the box. But what I would say is the strategy part of it is not as big as the execution part of it to me. And you know, we were getting ready to go green in that Xfinity race last night, and I heard this cliched answer a million times this week in media for all three championship fours, and that is just make sure you execute and make sure you don't make mistakes. It's so compromising here. You know, pit road is where this race could very well be won and lost. So to me, it's not as much about strategy. It could be, I doubt that. I just think it's more about the execution once you're out there and doing your thing.
How important, Adam, as we've seen these seasons go on and drivers have started to learn this next-gen car to unload here at a racetrack with speed. Make sure that practice and qualifying goes your way because, as you said, not only pit road, but practice and qualifying has become the name of the game in making or breaking your Sunday.
Well, and I'll tell you what, that's why I looked at Chase Briscoe, and I thought even though you would probably point to him and say he's the underdog of the bunch, but then you look at his performance in the playoffs, you know, he checked a lot of the boxes of the things that you think would make you successful here, qualifying up front. Now, obviously, they didn't do that this weekend. He starts 12th, and that's, you know, the worst of the championship four drivers, but they've led laps. That pit crew, you know, has had some good moments. And so I feel like he's someone that you have to look at because of his adaptability and how much they've grown in those areas of focus when you talk about success, especially at a track like Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's another fun group that I'm anxious to watch today.
Not only practice and qualifying, but the sun's going to go down, the temperatures are going to drop. We saw that come into play in the Xfinity Series race. What do you expect today with the next-gen car?
Well, what's intriguing to me is we talk about strategy, and I said that's not a big deal. And I know a lot of times in this sport when we talk strategy, it's about do you take two, do you take four, do you run it long, do you short pit? The reality is, to me, the strategy that I'm focused on is where is your focus in this race? Is it going out and winning, or are you just keeping a close eye on those other three? And I've heard some interesting answers when you ask drivers and teams that question. The other thought process is, since you don't have to win, and you think about how good Team Penske is here and how motivated they are to win this race because they're not running for a title, that kind of changes the game a little bit. So philosophically, what are you thinking as a driver and team and your approach to this championship format? Because you don't have to take the checkered flag. You just have to beat three guys, and then you get the trophy.
Well, the season officially ends today, but your opportunity to watch NASCAR content does not. You get the opportunity to see a new docuseries put on by NASCAR following Jesse Love, Raja Caruth, and Carson Hocevar.
What is your definition of making it?
I want to be a Cup driver. I want to be a championship Cup driver.
But ultimately, I'm either good enough or I'm not. I've grown up watching these guys. Now I'm going to beat them.
17 more, the best lap you ever ran in your life. Dad, we won at Daytona.
It's woven into my identity. There's no other option to me.
And you can watch Rising coming up on November 17th on NASCAR YouTube. That's just 2 weeks away, but a great opportunity for you to follow along and learn more about those drivers.
Hard to believe we're already talking about off-season content, but it's coming soon as we crown a champion today. But speaking of rising stars, and she's not a rising star, she's made a name for herself in the WNBA. We're excited now to have Sophie Cunningham joining us. She started her career with the Phoenix Mercury. She's now in the Indiana Fever. I mean, just lighting the world on fire, not only with your content, but also women's sports are just having such a moment right now. So, Sophie, welcome to Championship Race Day. How are you feeling?
Sorry, guys, I can't really hear you,
You're
but
good.
I think I was reading your lips. I am happy to be here. I was out in Phoenix, now with Indy, and so happy to be joining you guys.
What's it been like playing on the Indiana Fever, and you and Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston? I mean, your teammates are just amazing. It's been awesome to watch all this season.
Yeah, it's been a huge blessing. Like I said, I've been out here in Phoenix for the past 7 years, and I got traded up to Indy. And let me tell you, I'm happy to be back in the Midwest. I'm from Missouri, and Caitlin is absolutely amazing. AB is stunning herself, and so just to be part of something bigger has been really fun for my career.
You know, being from Indiana, there's always been this debate.
I knew it was coming.
Is this a
You
racing
guys know,
state?
I don't know what's about to happen.
Is this a racing state or is this a basketball state? They love hoops in Indiana, don't they?
I know.
What has been your thought process in going there and engaging with those fans that are so knowledgeable and passionate about hoops?
Yeah, you know, I've missed that atmosphere that everyone's just a diehard fan, and you know, the Fever are doing something special. You got to credit CC a lot for that. But I do hear that the Indy 500 is pretty spectacular in its own, so I'm not trying to take away from that. But of course, I'm biased. I'm going to say it's a basketball state.
Sure.
All right, I'm going to tease it a little bit because she put it out on social media yesterday. But Sophie obviously is recovering from a torn MCL. You're back on the treadmill. What's going on with the injury? Are we getting close?
You know, I'm attached. I'm doing well. I did tear my MCL this season, and it's just part of it when you're playing sports as your career. But I'm doing fine. You know, I'm in no rush, and so I'm taking rehab pretty serious. I do it every day, which kind of sucks. So I'm happy to be here and not at rehab today, which is good. But, you know, it's part of it. So I'll be ready to go next season, and I think our whole roster will be. I think our whole roster actually got injured this year, and so it's nice to kind of have a break and give your body a rest.
I did some digging. Not your first NASCAR experience. Are you a Carl Edwards fan? Did I see this somewhere?
Absolutely. So I was born and raised in Missouri, and so Carl Edwards is a huge big deal to us. Clearly, I know he's retired now. I wish he was here. That'd be something special for me. But I'm excited to be here. There's a lot of new drivers that I haven't really met or. I watch NASCAR, but you know, I am kind of busy doing other things, and so for me to be here in person, I'm excited to meet other people.
I encourage you to pick a favorite driver today.
Don't do
so,
that.
So that you have a rooting interest, because there's nothing better than having skin in the game. You know, you got to do it.
Absolutely. My competitive edge, I need someone to root for, and so I'm definitely going for Chase Briscoe. You know, I heard he's an Indiana guy, 19, and so I'm like, that's my guy, and kind of a Cinderella story, and so I kind of relate to that, and so I'm going to go for Chase today.
Hey, I'm pretty sure that Chase was at the Fever game when we were in town for the Brickyard 400 in July. So there you go. He's a fan.
Yes.
He also has a new daughter, so I mean, we can just get her into basketball. She can be the future athlete of the sport. But Sophie, when you come to championship events, you know what pressure feels like and how it can build as the day goes on, working towards the game, towards tip-off, towards the start of the race. So for championship caliber drivers, what advice would you give them?
Well, man, they're the ones who know what they're doing. I should be learning from them. But, you know, I will say that for us fans and for broadcasters, it's fun. Like, this is the event that everyone looks forward to. But, you know, as drivers and as competitors, there is a lot of pressure. And so I just think it's the little details and it's the little things that matter when it comes down to being a champion and when to not being a champion. So for me, I'm just excited to see these guys compete. I think it's going to be a great race, and I think anyone who wins, I know there's 4 kind of favorite drivers today, that it's going to be a special story for all 4 of them.
What's your pre-race schedule look like after this? I know they've got you probably everywhere today.
Yes, you know, do a little bit of VIP, meet and greet with some people. Might go to Jordan Davis, kind of hear him a little bit. I know you guys can help me out. What's it called when all the riders are introduced?
Driver's intro.
Yes, I've never been to that, so I'm actually really excited to go to that. I hear that's super special, and so I'm kind of a newbie when it comes to like being a NASCAR fan. I always watched it like laying on the ground, and my grandma and grandpa were watching it, and so to finally be here and be a part of it, I'm excited for it.
Awesome. All right, Sophie, well, thank you for joining us. You have fun today. Enjoy being back in Phoenix, and we look forward to seeing this upcoming season.
Thank you guys so much. Enjoy your day.
All right, Sophie Cunningham, take it, Carla.
I know. How awesome was that to have her here? I mean, every championship race, you've got dignitaries that come here, but she's a rising star in the WNBA, and we saw that when we were in Indy earlier this year.
I got to tell you, my kids are going to be really jealous that I got to share the time here. You know what I mean?
I know a lot of people that are going to be really
yeah,
jealous.
that's right. I'll save the photo.
Yeah.
I'll send it and remind them that every once in a while, even though I'm their old dad, I get to do some cool stuff.
That's cool.
Well, before we let you go, Adam, and we do appreciate you joining us, we want to know your championship 4 pick. You don't get to do this often.
Oh, boy, I don't like doing this. I really don't like doing this.
We're putting you on the spot.
Well, you know, I would say that, as I said earlier, I really believe that all 4 of these guys are capable, and I believe it's as tight as it's ever been. But as I said earlier, momentum is enormous to me in our sport. And I look at William Byron and the lessons that have been learned the last couple of years and what they were able to do last year. And I just feel like that he and Rudy are ready to go get it done. Nothing will surprise me today, but if you're going to make me make a pick, I'll go 24 today, and we'll see what happens.
Love it. I love when we put Double A on the spot here. He's going with the 24, but you have some fun today, Adam. I know it's a big day for all of us. We get to crown a champion and celebrate, so thanks for joining us.
No, this was awesome. Thank you all, and it's been a great year. Congratulations to both of you on that. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, yeah. Love having Adam Alexander here, of course, so much. We had so much fun on the CW broadcast this year, and then they did such great work on Amazon and TNT throughout the summer races.
Yeah, there is a lot to celebrate for this sport, but not only are we going to crown a champion out here in Phoenix today, we also have the NASCAR Awards that's coming up on Tuesday. We're going to have a live red carpet. We're going to have the NASCAR Awards on the NASCAR channel. Take a look at what all you're in store with NASCAR Stars on Tuesday.
This November, the desert will shine bright. NASCAR's biggest stars are headed to Arizona. Join the legends, the champions, and the rising stars for a night of celebration like never before.
Proud of winning. I'm proud of our team.
The 2025 NASCAR Awards, Tuesday, November 4th. Live from the red carpet at 6:15 p.m. Eastern. Showtime begins at 7, only on the NASCAR channel.
That's coming up this Tuesday. You're going to want to see all of NASCAR stars on the red carpet, as well as go inside the ballroom, and we'll have all the awards handed out and just really celebrate our champions. I'm biased, Carla. It's one of my favorite nights of the season.
I'm excited. We all get to dress up, but I don't know if we're going to be able to outdress Mamba Smith, who's joining us. I think I have to do the red carpet with you.
I'm sorry, you have to.
So what are we? Well, I say that because I'm going to have to stand next to you in your get-up, and it's going to be amazing, and it's going to outshine me. I have no doubt about this.
I promise you, I'm not going to outshine you. Me and Alex and Kim have done red carpet together before, and it's a combination. We feed off of each other. It's all of us together. They are getting after it on this stage behind them.
Yeah. So we obviously have the awards coming up on Tuesday, but the whole point of the NASCAR Awards is to celebrate our champions. And Mamba, when we come to this point of the season, walk me through the hype and the vibe of championship weekend.
I was out in the NASCAR experience earlier doing a little cold customer report. It was insane, guys. Like, everyone is so excited. It's like walking into a Fenway Park or a Yankee Stadium. The aura is palpable. The fans are excited, and they always pack this place out here in Phoenix.
So we talked a little bit about Hendrick Motorsports with Adam Alexander. We're going to talk a little bit about Joe Gibbs Racing and the two guys going up for the championship today with Chase Briscoe and Denny Hamlin. This organization, incredible. 42 playoff wins, 13 wins alone this season. You see that, 5 championships for Joe Gibbs. An incredible, just iconic brand for the sport. How do you see this going for Chase and Denny today?
Well, I think, they are complete. They got complete teams, right? Everybody does their job at a high level. Now, we've been a little nervous over the last couple weeks, whether it be engines or mechanical failures with the 11. I got to believe that Chris Gale and that whole group got that stuff figured out in the shop. They're coming with prepared race cars. Then on the flip side, Chase Briscoe, James Small, they didn't feel like they had a great practice.
Yeah.
They didn't have a 19-like qualifying effort. We're used to them being on the pole basically every week.
Every week.
So, adversity, right? But with that adversity, it allows for an opportunity to rise to the occasion and go be great. And I think that's what we're going to see.
Well, we're going to hear from one of those drivers over at Joe Gibbs Racing right now. We caught up with Chase Briscoe a little bit earlier this afternoon.
Well, of the Championship 4 drivers, he is the only one that can say this is his first rodeo, but let's welcome in Chase Briscoe now. It is your first Championship 4 appearance. The moment is big, the crowd is big. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, I think so. It's definitely way bigger than I expected, like just the whole production of it, whether it's all the people or just the lead up to it. The closest thing I would say is like the Daytona 500, but it even kind of goes past that. So yeah, it's been surprising, honestly, just how big of a deal it is. I mean, I know it's a big deal, but like I didn't expect it to be this much. But yeah, I'm excited for it. Should be a good day.
Let's talk about this season as a whole, though, because 2025, you come over to Joe Gibbs Racing. It's such a powerhouse organization that expects their drivers to run for championships every single year, and you've officially made it to the Championship 4. When does the moment kick in for you that you are racing for a championship today?
Yeah, I would say once we're on the grid, because honestly, it hasn't really like fully kicked in. I mean, we talked about it. I'm like pretty emotional in general.
It should have kicked in at Talladega.
Yeah, I guess it did, like ever so slightly, like just in that moment. But like this whole week, even like there's a lot going on, but I don't think it's really like fully hit me. But certainly, I think on the grid it will. Just seeing like even last night, before the Xfinity race, I walked out there and talked to Al Geyer and all those guys and kind of wished them good luck, and like just seeing how many people are around their cars. I know today will be like times 10 of that, so I think that's when it'll probably hit me the most.
It seems like a Cinderella season for you. First year for JGR, 3 wins, 7 poles. I feel like you won the pole every week.
Every
That's
week.
just the way
Not yesterday.
that it felt. I know I'm getting to that part. Going to start 12th later today. How do you make up for that in a race like this?
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of glad we didn't qualify on the pole. We've not won a single time that we've done that. So yeah, I think for us, qualifying has obviously been a strong suit, but this race especially, if your car's good, you're going to be able to go forward, and it's probably a little bit easier, I feel like, to go through the field at this race just because the other guys in the field, like they know what you're racing for and kind of give you a little bit more respect than they would on a typical weekend. So yeah, I think Blaney started like 17th the year he won it. So yeah, I'm not worried. The only hard part is I don't really know what my car has. We didn't run a lot of laps in practice. So yeah, I'm confident still, and yeah, we'll just be coming from behind here at the beginning, but hopefully can get on a level playing field with them pretty quickly.
You mentioned those few laps run in practice, the fewest of the Championship 4 drivers. So walk me through practice. What happened and what led to the qualifying effort for you guys?
Yeah, just a weird practice. We went out there at the beginning, and I think I made 3 laps, maybe 4, and blew a left rear tire. Then changed tires, made some adjustments, went back out, and after like 7 or 8 laps, had another tire vibration, brought it in. Looking back on it after practice, we think that tire was probably okay, but just with the vibration and already having an issue, was kind of nervous to keep going, and then put another set of tires on, and same thing. After like 8 or 9 laps, had a vibration. So yeah, I think we only ran 20-something laps total, and then qualifying, I just didn't do a great job, truthfully, and our balance was still a little bit off, but felt like it was more so just I didn't do a great job in qualifying. So yeah, I feel like we, James, I know, feels really confident. I feel like, they've kind of done it time and time again this year where our car's a little bit off in practice or qualifying, and, the race starts and I'm right in the mix. So, yeah, hopefully it'll be the same this week.
What's the rest of your day look like from this point on until you climb in your car, whether it's with Johnny Morris, your family, just pre-race activities? What's
yeah, it's pretty much nonstop from this time on. And really, I've been here since 7:45 this morning. I did the sunrise church service, and then really from that moment on, I've been wide open. So, yeah, we'll do this, then go do, I think it's Championship 4, like Q&A. Then I'll go to church, the church service, hang out with the family for maybe 20 minutes in between that and getting ready, and then, yeah, go to the driver's meeting. So it'll be a busy day for sure.
Yeah, a busy day ahead for the 19.
A great year for you guys, but you never forget your first. Soak it in for your first Championship 4 appearance. Good luck today.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, guys.
That was Chase Briscoe earlier this afternoon. We are so used to seeing the driver of the 19 cool, calm, and collected, but he is just a chill guy from Indiana racing for a championship. It's crazy to me.
Just a chill guy.
Yeah.
Stones. I mean, when I talked to Kevin Harvick on our podcast earlier this week, I said I'm most intrigued by Chase and what he'll be like in this situation. He's ran for championships and at a high level before, but there's so much that goes into it. And Kevin's like, yeah, it's all the attention. It's more than you've ever seen before. It's more than you've ever had. So how are you able to manage those things and stay in routine to do the job at hand? And it seems like he looks exactly like he does on any other Sunday.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was interesting in the interview. He said, "I'm just glad I'm not on the pole because we haven't won when we were on the pole."
Yeah.
So just the amount of composure that he has to be starting 12th today.
Well, my favorite thing that he said was, I didn't realize it was such a big deal. I'm like, yeah, dog, it's the whole thing. So.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Obviously, I was at the announcement when Chase made the announcement that he was going over to Joe Gibbs Racing last year, before the season was even over, and he knew the expectations of that team were going to be paramount for him to succeed and to make sure that he is doing what he needs to do. When you race for an organization like Joe Gibbs Racing, championships are expected, and check the box for the 19 and Chase Briscoe this year. It's just been such an incredible year, and I hope Chase, regardless of the outcome today, is proud of what he's done this season.
Well, and Martin Truex Jr., such big shoes to fill, the sponsorship with Johnny Morris. We know the expectation from them, and they've been so pleased and so happy with what the 19's been able to do.
Yeah, I think one thing to note for everyone to remember is Chase bet on himself. Not only in his first part of his career where he was couch surfing on people's couches to get an
literally
opportunity.
Living on people's couches.
Yeah, I was actually a mechanic, and Corey LaJoy was the crew chief for his first ever ARCA race at IRP, and he bet on himself here at Joe Gibbs Racing. He took a team-friendly deal to show what he was made of, and before they even got to this point, he showed that he should get a long-term ride, and now he has a chance on that deal to come all the way through. It's absolutely incredible.
Talk about doing it for the love of the sport. That's what you have if you're cheering for the 19 today. And this is his first Championship 4 appearance, but it is not for Denny Hamlin. He has been trying to get his first championship since 2014 when he made his first appearance, and we caught up with the 11 earlier.
The first driver to lock into the Championship 4, 2 weeks to prepare for this team. The driver of the number 11 from Joe Gibbs Racing, Denny Hamlin, joins us now here on the show. DH, welcome to Championship Sunday. How's it feel to be here?
It feels great. Feels great to be part of it, the story, at least for another day. So your goal at the beginning of the season is to be relevant every single race of the season.
Sure.
The only way to do that is you're going to have to make the Final Four, and we've done that.
Yeah.
And you also have started on the pole, going to get to do that today. Practice and qualifying went really well so far this weekend. How does that set you up for the weekend, and what's the confidence level like right now?
The qualifying lap was the one nervous lap I was going to have all weekend. At the 3:12 that we run today, I'm sure there'll be some moments where the nerves set in a little bit, but generally speaking, when you know you have to go get it in one lap to pick your pit box, have your starting position, it's a lot of pressure on that. And in the sim, I just did not do a good job. I don't think I hit one solid lap in the sim when it comes to qualifying, and so to execute it at a high level yesterday was certainly a breath of fresh air for us that we've got the speed in this progressive Camry.
Your 5th Championship 4 appearance, and you've had a long tenured career. You know pressure on Sundays feels different anyways, but when you come to pressure of a championship, and you're still going after your first championship of your career, can you even describe the pressure of today, or have you even felt it yet?
I mean, the pressure has been, I think, over the last few days, a little bit, but on race day, I certainly feel very even keel. I have my process, I have my preparation. I don't do anything different than what I normally do. There's a few more people around the bus, but other than that, it's my space, my time, and I feel really good about what we got this weekend. Just hopefully, all the chips fall like they should, and hopefully, if they do, then that 11 car should be up front.
What's been different about this season? Every year we say it's your year, but this year 6 wins. You finally got to 60. We saw how special of a moment that was for you. How does that, we talk about pressure of today, but you got 60. Does that alleviate the pressure a little bit?
It does. Just simply because that was probably the biggest win of my career. Just everything that came along with that 60, which is making the Final Four, and certainly the timing on the family stuff. Like, it just was really, really big for that reason, the style in which we won that race. Then it was like, okay, well, 61 at Phoenix would be pretty cool too. So I don't know. The goal is always to make it to Phoenix, right? And I think every team will say that a successful season is defined by getting to this point and having the opportunity. to win a championship on this day. What happens in this 312 laps, we have no idea. There was nothing on Friday that alarmed me, that gave me pause. I felt like, okay, yeah, that's exactly what I expected. Saturday went better than expected. So it all comes down to Sunday now.
I know I don't need to give you added motivation or talk about how much motivation you have to win this championship trophy today, but when you look at Jamison, your new son who came on board this year, the family, you have the girls, your mom and dad. I know how important your family has been to your career and to the trajectory of you being here, possibly being a Cup Series champion. So have you thought about what it would be like to celebrate with the crew today?
I mean, you let it trickle into your mind, but my main job over the last 2 days is telling everyone there's a lot more work left. A lot more work left. Like, I can't really put into words what it would mean because I haven't experienced it yet.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, truthfully, what 60 would mean until after it happened. So I can only imagine. I guess we're going to figure this thing out in about 6-7 hours. But, yeah, every moment changes within the moment. So it just kind of depends on what happens during the course of the race. How did it go down? And I'm sure that it will be very, very satisfying if it does happen.
Real quickly, you say there's a lot more work left. Your pit crew was here late into the night preparing that pit stall for you and pit stall 1. Talk a little bit about what they did and how important that was for today.
Yeah, I love seeing Chris Gabehart and Chris Gale out there just on their hands and knees working to get this thing ready. Just trying to make sure no stone goes unturned. That's just trying to get every little detail that you can, every advantage that you can. Of course, the others have now, jumped in on it, so I think we're all going to be about even there. But just really happy for this team to, put in the work that they've done. I obviously have the amount of work that I put in. I think they respect that, but they show it through their work ethic as well.
All right, DH, I know that today is busy for you, so you take some time to enjoy today, but we look forward to the work not being over and possibly crowning a champion at the end of this thing.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
And listen, of all the drivers for the Championship 4, they all have a unique storyline, but Denny Hamlin's, he's been trying for so long to get here. The health of his dad, the newborn son, the 60 wins this season. I mean, you could just keep adding to how special a championship for the 11 today would be, Mambo.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Denny holds his cards close to the chest, and all season long it was, the championship doesn't matter as much as getting to these milestones that I have in my mind. And I gotta respect that, right? You gotta respect someone who puts it on perspective for them to do what they want to do and at the highest level. And now he's here. He's part of the 60-win club. He's a walking Hall of Famer. He has an opportunity to go from here to that next level with some of the greatest in the sport. We'll see if he can get it done.
Well, you guys know how we like to do here on pre-race. It wouldn't be Championship Sunday if we weren't jamming with Jordan Davis, but also getting to pick who we think is going to be crowned our 2025 NASCAR Cup Series champion. So, Mamba, you're the guest on this show. Who you got? Who's the champ today?
All right, listen. In February, I told Kevin, give me the 24 William Byron and Rudy Frugal. And then when this last round we had went miserable for them. And I was like, you know what? I think something special is going to pull out of this group. They go out, dominate Martinsville. Momentum is a real thing. They've been here before. They've lost it before. It's their time. But I told William, I said, it's your time, brother, but they ain't going to give it to you. You got to go take it. So we'll see what he got.
I will say, Steve Letarte and I had a conversation on NASCAR Inside the Race. Yes, I'm plugging it. We will also be live at the championship following this race with the champion driver. So make sure and tune in to NASCAR Inside the Race immediately following the race. But the conversation surrounding this 24 team was the 2 races at Las Vegas and Talladega. Any other driver, it may have broken the mentality and the mindset of a team to race for a championship. It did not with the 24 crew. So I don't mind that pick, Mamba. I like it.
Yeah.
Listen, I did an interview earlier with this kid named Cam. Cam's a young race car driver. He's working some media stuff. He gave me a little stat, so I'm going to give him some credit for this. He said the guys so far that won Daytona won the championship this weekend. There's only one left.
Yep. got to bookend the season. Adam Alexander also mentioned about momentum for the 24 too, so really good pick there. I'm going with the storyline though. I have to go with Denny Hamlin today.
We have the same pick.
And hearing from him, we hear from him every season. It means more the longer he goes in the sport, but I really feel like he's taking the moment to appreciate his career this season. He seems calm, he seems collected, he seems prepared, and I think that's the biggest thing for the 11.
He also seems entertaining. Denny, in this whole entire week, I've talked to him several times. He's talked to media several times. He's witty. He's throwing out one-liners. He's making the rest of the drivers crack up and laugh and have this banter in between all of them. So for me, it's hard to go against the sports story that I want to happen. This guy has been trying for a championship for so long. I'm tired of every season talking about, is this Denny Hamlin's year? So in my mind, 2025, lock it up for the 11.
What is it, all in? What's his
all in?
All
Yeah.
in.
Listen, do not let that 11 rock you to sleep if you're the other three guys, because if it's between you and winning this race or championship, we already saw what he would do at Kansas, and that he owns that car. He ain't got no allegiance to anybody in this field.
Yeah, coming from behind even a little bit in that race. But listen, we're getting closer to finding out. You mentioned the concert going on behind us. Green flag starting just after 3 p.m. Eastern today. I'm looking forward to it.
We have 4 drivers who are looking to be crowned the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series champion, and it all starts at the drop of the green flag here at the beautiful Jewel of the Desert, Phoenix Raceway. For Mama Smith, Carla Metts, Alex Weaver, for behalf of NASCAR and the France family, thank you so much for a great season. Let's go crown a champion.
It is my honor and my privilege to present the Bill France Cup and crown you as our Cup Series champion.
Winners are temporary. Champions live forever. It's a level of immortality, a chance to etch your name alongside legends, Richard, Dale, Jimmy. A championship changes how history records you, how future generations will talk about you. But to earn this honor, you must overcome the most difficult test in all of sports.
It's a whole season of moments that's led up to this one race.
Denny is going to Phoenix.
Winning the championship to me means everything.
A championship separates greats from legends. A culmination of a season that guarantees nothing and demands excellence. Grueling, mentally taxing. It's the reward for those who are toughest when the lights are brightest.
Getting to the Cup Series Championship race and then winning it is something you work for all year.
Very few people that can even say they're a NASCAR champion, so it just tells you how hard it actually is to do.
Today is for those who keep believing. Today is for the brave. Those resilient enough to overcome adversity.
We just need a little bit more.
Strong enough to lift an entire team to the top. One race, one opportunity. For team, for family, for all. Forever a place in NASCAR story.